Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking all about the DCEU, James Gunn, the different projects that he's working on and the comments that have been released over the last couple of weeks that we haven't broken down as of yet. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. So once again, Happy New Year. We're in the new year. We're making videos, so stay tuned guys, because we're going to have videos pretty much every day from now on. Also, we live streamed yesterday on Thursday night, so come join in this Thursday, this upcoming Thursday, where we'll have some special guests once again as we get into the week's topics. So for now, let's go ahead and get into today's main topics. So as I said at the start of the video, today's video is all about the DCU, and James Gunn is very active on Threads once again after the holidays. I think he took a little bit of a break. There wasn't too much over the Christmas period, but he is back replying to people's questions. So if you guys have any valid and interesting questions to ask him, literally just sign up to Threads and just comment and at him, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna answer. He answers a lot of people if you ask good questions. So the first question was all to do with Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is a DCTV show that's coming out later this year. We've heard about it for a while, especially since the DCU announcement. And so someone went on Threads and basically asked, when is Creature Commandos coming out? James Gunn replied, Creature Commandos brackets 2024, so that's when it's coming out. And the person replied, are we talking early or late 2024? And James Gunn replied, later, full stop, and that's it. So there you go, we have an answer as to when Creature Commandos is coming out. It's coming out in late 2024. I already presumed this, but it's good to get confirmation from James himself. Obviously, he knows the ins and outs of when these DCU projects are being released. We don't have an official release date as of yet, like an exact month or an exact day, but late 2024 is when to expect the DC animated show that's going to be airing on Max. And we know from James's comments in the past that Creature Commandos will have some big actors in it, and those actors who have already been cast and pretty much the show's already done, those actors are going to appear in live action later down the line. Well, at least that is the plan as of now. So even if you're not such a big animated DC fan, like, it's going to be a big deal because you can see these characters in the future in live action. So I would say we all have to tune in for these first 7 episodes, written all by James Gunn. That's been confirmed as well, because even though it's, you know, a strange way to start out the DCU, it is the actual first chapter. It's coming out before Superman Legacy, actually quite a long time before Superman Legacy, because Superman Legacy is scheduled for July 11th, 2025, and this show is going to be coming out in 2024, late 2024, but still, that's a fair chunk before, so it's going to be a very important show, and it's probably going to get more seasons later down the line. Let's move on to the next main topic. That is to do with this question. Hey James, when you're finished with writing Superman Legacy, and I guess he means the production, so once it's all filmed, will we get a trailer for Superman Legacy this year? And James replies, no, full stop. We don't begin filming until March. The writing is basically done, other than a comma here and a comma there. And so that's his reply. No, we're not going to get a Superman Legacy trailer this year. I kind of thought in my mind, okay, maybe we'll get like a suit reveal, maybe, you know, a cool teaser. I still think we're going to get that this year. So he's just ruling out an actual like full length 2-minute or 3-minute long trailer, because they're not going to be at that stage to reveal it this year. So I reckon going into the start of 2025, you're going to start seeing some trailers for Superman Legacy. And so I kind of thought maybe they would release another teaser at like Comic-Con or something. I don't know, I just got the impression that maybe they want to go big with Comic-Con, or potentially they could bring DC fandom into real life. Like, that would be really cool, kind of like, you know, the Disney events and the Marvel events that they do in Star Wars Celebration. So that would be something I would like, but clearly there's probably going to be more focus on Creature Commandos and maybe announcements rather than actual trailers and actual footage. Maybe also castings, maybe for the Batman film that we know is being worked on in the DCU. Maybe Supergirl is going to get announced. we'll have to wait and see. But let's move on to the next question. Do you have any projects with writing in the early stages and far from seeing the light of day? That is the question. He doesn't refer to it as DC or not, but James replies a few yes that he is working on right now. Those early stages projects could be linked to the DCU because that is his main focus as of right now, because he is the co-head of DC Studios, and I'm pretty sure he has no other time to work on other projects apart from DC, because he's trying to mold this universe with the people that he's got on board. There was a photo at Christmas with some of the people that have been working on it, including comic book writers like Tom King. He's working on some of them, especially Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which he wrote the comic book for. And there are other people out there helping, but James, as we know, has written Superman Legacy. He's writing Peacemaker Season 2. He has also written, as we talked about earlier, Creature Commandos. So that's already 3 projects that he is heavily involved in. He's the writer on it, and so he's probably going to do more in the future. So you could think a Superman sequel that could potentially be in the early stages, considering that, you know, he's finished writing it and they're going to go film it in March, so that's not a long time away. Also, any other DC shows or any films that he's really interested in, maybe if it's like a character that he truly loves, he's going to be like, okay, I shotgun this project, like I'm going to write this, no one else is going to do this. So he's probably working on some of those kind of dream DC projects in the background. Okay, so there was a question to do with Margot Robbie and her returning in the DCU, and so James Gunn replies, I haven't talked to Margot about Harley for a long time, but I'd love to work with her again as Harley or as someone else. There are no plans at this time for anyone else to play Harley, and he puts in brackets, I mean other than Todd's movie or the animated shows. And this was in response to Margot Robbie saying, I always wanted Harley to be a character that would be passed on to other actresses to play, the way that there are so many iconic male characters, I guess referring to Batman, Superman. That was always the dream for her. So that's obviously Margot Robbie talking about Harley Quinn and the future of Harley Quinn potentially in the DCU. But with his comment, James just confirmed he hasn't talked to her anytime recently about Harley, but he would definitely be down to work with her again. Obviously, he worked with her on the Suicide Squad when she reprised her role as Harley Quinn after the first Suicide Squad film. And then also he says maybe she could even play someone else in the DCU, which we know is a possibility. There's been lots of rumors of Jason Momoa coming back and playing Lobo instead of Aquaman. We know that this is going to be more of a soft reboot, so I don't think they mind recasting and reusing actors that have been already in DC projects recently in the DCEU. But let's move on to the next question. So DC Verso 1 on Threads asks, any news about Lanterns, James? And James replies, not publicly, not just yet, but you can presume very, very soon. And this is me talking here because that's a nice teaser from James, because yeah, we don't know anything else publicly, but I'm sure we're going to hear some casting announcements soon. We know the Lantern show is going to be pretty important, at least it was teased to be that way, like with the announcement in the DCU, because it was announced pretty early on in the announcement, and we know that this has been a show that's been worked on for a long time. There's been many versions of it, and it would be just so nice to finally see a Green Lantern show actually come to fruition. So looking forward to that. Let's move on to the next question. The person says, hey Mr. Gunn, do you like the question? He replies, very much. I like these short but sweet answers. So potentially you could see the question. I think I heard some rumors a while ago about the question being potentially involved. So James is a fan. You could see that actually happening at some point. It's obviously not going to be a main priority because the question isn't going to draw in like a huge audience straight away. But it's an interesting character and it's a really good character, and it's good to see that James is acknowledging some of the characters that he actually really likes from the comics. Okay, so the final question goes like this. I'm kind of curious, for things like Matt's DCU Arkham show, do you have any sort of mandate or embargo against using certain characters? I will clarify this question by saying I don't mean they would appear, but like if Matt and the Arkham team really want to use Harley, Batman, Joker, Riddler, or any other A-list character because it serves their story, do they have that freedom? In previous administrations, they didn't really have it. James replies, Peter and I are the curators of DC characters. That means any characters writers want to use in media of any type that's not comic books, because they have no control over that. And he puts in brackets, and a couple of other things, like I believe podcasts, DCU or not, has to go through us. So there you have it. That is James Gunn confirming. They're in charge of everything. So basically, if you had the Arrowverse shows going on, they want to use Batman, they would have to go through James Gunn and Peter Safran and DC Studios, because Warner Brothers has given them the reins to DC, and so they're in charge of the Elseworlds projects, the main projects, just overseeing them. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily super involved in them all, but it's all going to go through them because they are building this universe, and that's clearly the most important thing to them and Warner Brothers right now. So that's just the way it's going to go. So they won't have like full autonomy in terms of the creators, but at least James Gunn, you can kind of trust him. I feel like they're going to make the right choices for DC, fingers crossed. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It would really help this video get out there. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos on my channel. Go check out my recent videos. Also tune in next Thursday night at 10:30 PM UK time for my next live stream. But for now, click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.